So I went one more time to the well because I met the guy and I liked him. I'm like, hey, I like you. I mean, he was a nice guy. Yeah. The same thing. I got nowhere.
You have no idea, like, again, as you being an influencer, and I'm not here to stroke your ego, but I am here to stroke your ego. Dude, this quote meant the world to me, coming from you, and I know you didn't need to do it. Thank you.
Totally my pleasure. Totally my pleasure. When I first started writing books, I'll tell you a quick story. So Tim Sanders, and I just want to keep an eye on time. This is my podcast day, so I got things kind of lined up. So I want to make sure I don't run into one or the other, and we have time to do this.
Yeah.
But Tim Sanders, I saw Tim Sanders speak in San Francisco, and this was way back in like 2006. And I met him later on in the bar, and I hadn't written a book yet. So I said, I'm writing this book, and I love your book on the likability factor, and I loved your speech, and I really love if I could, if I write this book, would you help me with an endorsement or anything? Yeah. And he's like, well, go talk to my publicist. So that was I ran into a brick wall, dead end, nothing. So then I published that book, and I published it myself, sold a bunch of copies of it, got a big publishing contract. And then I went back to him again, said, hey, I'm writing this book, people by you, and I'm mentioning you in the very beginning. That speech that you gave around likability factor created the beginning of this book. Will you endorse it, or will you write a foreword, or will you do anything for me? Go talk to my publicist, hit a brick wall. So then people follow you came out. So I went one more time to the well because I met the guy and I liked him. I'm like, hey, I like you. I mean, he was a nice guy. Yeah. The same thing. I got nowhere. Like, he wouldn't even give me help. And I'm like, screw this. I'm not going to do this to people. People ask me for help. I tell people sometimes, like, this is what you have to do. Write it for me. And I'll, you tell me what you want me to say, and I'll sign off on it.
Fastest way to do it.
Just to make it easier for me. And my forewords, I write my foreword for the foreword author and send it to him and say, here it is. Change it any way you want to. And most people go, that sounds good to me. You get it back. So now I have the foreword I want.
I love that.
So all that happened, and then, crazy as it sounds, he came out with another book about 2 years ago and came to me like, will you help me with my book? Will you write an endorsement for my book? And part of me was like, you schmuck,
you right?
All these years.
You jack.
But you know what? I gave him an endorsement.
Life is short.
I did it anyway. But I just believe, that people ask for those things, and Brian Tracy was always good about that. If you went to Brian Tracy and said, hey, can I get a quote or anything, he would do it. And one of the reasons that he did that was, and I realized, is he's got his damn name on everything. Like, there's everything out there. Every time you turn around, you see Brian Tracy on the front of your book. So, like, how is I say I should be thanking you, right, for all the marketing that you're giving me. Yeah.